1929, one of the greatest economic collapses in history. What happens when people trust money too much? Introduction. Throughout history, people have always chased the same dream: to make more money, to build a better life. And sometimes that dream becomes so powerful that people stop seeing reality. Today, I'm not just going to tell you about an economic crisis. Because the Great Depression of 1929 was never just a story about a stock market crash. It was a story about human ambition, fear, greed, and how the desire to become rich quickly changed the lives of millions of people. Because there are moments in history when people say the same thing: this time is different. But the economy always remembers one thing: human psychology. The 1920s, the dream of wealth. During the 1920s, America was going through a period of massive transformation. New technologies were emerging, industries were growing, and people looked toward the future with incredible optimism. For many ordinary citizens, becoming wealthy suddenly felt possible. The stock market was no longer just a place for the rich. Average people started buying shares, believing they had discovered a path to financial freedom. But there was a problem. Many people were not actually investing. They were simply betting that prices would continue to rise. Instead of asking, "Is this company truly valuable?" they were thinking, "If I buy today, someone will pay more tomorrow." And that mindset created one of the biggest financial bubbles in history. The illusion of easy money. One of the biggest mistakes of that era was investing with borrowed money. People were taking loans from banks and using that money to buy stocks because everyone was making money. And as long as everyone was winning, the risks became invisible. This is one of the oldest lessons in finance. When something keeps rising, people often stop questioning why. They only focus on how much more they can earn. But markets do not move in one direction forever. The crash of 1929. And eventually, the moment everyone feared arrived. In October 1929, the American stock market was hit by a massive wave of selling. People began to panic. Those who believed they had built fortunes only days before suddenly watched their wealth disappear. Stock prices collapsed. People who had invested with borrowed money could no longer pay their debts. And the biggest loss was not only financial, it was confidence. Because an economy is not built only on numbers, it is also built on people's belief in the future. When people lose confidence, they stop spending. Companies stop growing. Jobs disappear. And the crisis becomes even deeper. The human cost. During the Great Depression, millions of people lost their jobs. Factories closed. Families struggled to survive. People who once looked toward the future with hope were suddenly fighting just to get through the day. And this taught the world an important lesson. Financial systems are not only about banks, companies, and numbers. Behind every economic decision, there are real human lives. A mistake in the financial world can eventually affect an entire society. Economic analysis. So what did the Great Depression teach us? The first lesson: nothing rises forever. The second lesson: debt can be a powerful tool when used correctly. But when it is uncontrolled, it can become a dangerous weapon. The third lesson: human psychology is at the center of finance. Fear and greed are two of the strongest forces that have shaped markets throughout history. And even today, we can see the same patterns in technology companies, cryptocurrencies, and different investment markets. Sometimes people don't just buy an opportunity. They buy the fear of missing out. A conclusion. Almost a century has passed since the Great Depression of 1929, but the lesson still remains. Because some things change, technology changes, companies change, Markets change. But human behavior does not change as much as we think. Everyone wants to become wealthy. Everyone wants faster results. But history has shown us one important truth. The biggest financial mistakes are often not caused by a lack of intelligence. They are caused by overconfidence. Because learning how to make money is important, but learning how not to lose it is just as important.